Genelia, I heard that he apparently played a prank on you and broke up with you.
Yeah, he did. 1st of April, he's called me and said, now this is done. And I've not realized it's April Fool's Day. I'm like bawling and crying. So, when we describe women, generally we describe the very, very ambitious and very, very no feelings, this, that. We make it out to be that type. Or we make it out to be an extremely soft, extremely someone, who doesn't have a mind of her own sometimes. But
Gives up on her dreams.
Gives up on her dreams. But we don't do the middle route. Someone who can balance both of them. Like today, while I'm sitting here, my boys have, they have their tryouts for their football, and I like being there. It's not necessary, but I like because I feel it's an important thing. It's like an audition for them. So he's like, don't worry, you figure out your thing, I'll be there. I always say that though we dated for 10 years, it was literally a long distance relation because I was working so much in the South and he was working all over, and then Bollywood films would be out every day. So we hardly met. But the intent was correct. We're feeling that this is wrong, this is unjust, they're not doing anything. But maybe they don't know, they're not as aware. So maybe we just have a discussion and say, I'm tired today, can you do the duties today? I at least, Riteish, I don't know, maybe I just got lucky, but
both of you got lucky.
Yeah. This whole idea of being a perfect parent, first we should just delete. Because you are perfect to the best of your ability with a large number of imperfection involved in it. In fact, actually very close to Jane too also. There are a couple of people who told me that, you're not the conventional pretty girl. I said, what does that mean? Like, when I was debuted, it was all about having only white skin or, having those lighter eyes and having colored hair for some weird reason. Everyone was putting contact lenses. There's lots of competitiveness, amongst this mom doing this for this mom doing, to a point where we stop telling, we stop helping the mom community. We stop helping. Like if I've done something which is good for my child, I won't tell another mom. I don't know why.
They say that when you become a mother, your heart becomes warmer and fonder. But I'm sitting with somebody whose heart was actually warm and fond even when she wasn't a mother. And rightly so. Aamir sir has called her the heart behind Sitaare Zameen Par. Genelia Deshmukh joins me for a conversation for this episode of Wildglow Korean Skincare presents Dear Maa only on Nayansense. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nayan. Thank you.
When I was planning the show, I reached out to you before we shot also. Yes. It's God sent that we are finally doing it.
It is.
Before anything, have you read the comments?
No, I mean, I've heard a lot of it. I've read, of course, Instagram, but I haven't really read too much. But I want to.
You have to. Everybody is saying there's just two things. The first thing is, why was she missing from Hindi films? Why were you missing?
No, I don't know. I mean, I think I took a break when I had kids, and I think I didn't want to be unfair because I feel like when you have kids, it's a full-time job and, you need to be there. So I didn't want to be unfair to my kids. And similarly, I didn't want to be unfair to my profession. So while there were days that you could work 15, 16 hours before, now you have to place yourself and figure out how much you can work and how much you want to work also. So those 10 years were purely for seeing a different side of my life. I was very happy doing that, and then Riteish was like, time up. Now you need to do something. So that's when I did his film, his directorial debut. And one day I was just in school walking, and Aamir actually met Riteish, and he said, is Genelia still interested in films? And then the whole process started, like the audition, this, that, and I'm just so grateful to be part of Sitaare Zameen Par, and I'm just so happy that people, I don't even think that people know me or miss me. I don't think of all those things anymore.
You should read the comments then, my friend.
God, I would love to. But yeah, it feels good to be back. I mean, I read something that I think Z Music had put up saying that, if you miss Genelia or something, and I thought that was really, really cute to have,
But you said that you auditioned for this, right?
Yes.
So what do you remember? Is there a particular scene that you auditioned with?
I actually auditioned for 3 scenes in this film, and Prasanna was our director, he was someone who spent time with me before the audition also. So it wasn't just that, go audition and if you do well, you do well. If you don't do well, don't. He took my perspective on being a mom, on wanting to be a mom. We spoke about that, and I think that's what eventually got me to auditioning for the role better, understanding the whole dynamics of it. So when we describe women, generally we describe the very, very ambitious and very, very no feelings, this, that. We make it out to be that type, or we make it out to be an extremely soft, extremely someone who doesn't have a mind of her own sometimes. But
gives up on her dreams.
Gives up on her dreams. But we don't do the middle route. Someone who can balance both of them, and I think most of us are that middle route, right? Like we know when to stand up, and we know when to accommodate, when to figure. And I at least in my personal life do believe that there is a large part of you that goes into accommodating. It is not compromise. It is just accommodating to make like between Riteish and me, very often, I'm the one who is the reactive one. He's the one who just listens. He doesn't even pay attention sometimes. But that just is maturity, right? So I think.
But it's also kudos to him, because I know this for a fact. I've seen it up front that when you are working, even if you're out for a day shoot, he's at home taking care of the kids. And the idea of a homemaker is very different. We've genderized it. Like it's usually like a woman being a homemaker, but you guys have this amazing balance where both of you play homemaker.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think that is important, and that's only healthy. That's the way it should be. I mean, see, I'm still the more dominant parent in terms of taking decisions with the kids and all, and Riteish is more the person who is more the home breadwinner or whatever. But when it comes to my work, he doesn't let me think that there's a problem at home if I'm not at home. So he'll make up for that, or he'll say I'll be at home. Like today, while I'm sitting here, my boys have they have their tryouts for their football, and I like being there. It's not necessary, but I like because I feel it's an important thing. It's like an audition for them. So he's like, don't worry, you figure out your thing, I'll be there. So that just gives you that peace of mind to be sitting here and do what you love as well.
Absolutely. I did this interview with him during Raid, and the day we did that interview, Raid 2, he said that when I asked him about parenting, he said something beautiful. He said,
even this morning, 8 o'clock, Genelia and me with an umbrella, with 2 water bottles, we were sitting and watching the football match, because that is what they have to do. So we have to be part of their lives. And there'll be certain time for 10, 12 years that they'll want you, because you'll be the most special people in their lives. Post that, it'll be their friends and girlfriends and whatever they choose in life. Then it's gone. So value this time that you have.
Today morning, before I came to do these interviews, both me and Genelia were at school because they were doing football. And we want to be a part of every moment in their lives, because there'll be a point when they'll grow up, then they'll have different priorities, and then slowly the importance of parents usually fades away, and we want to be a part of everybody's life. Despite being celebrity parents, you guys have a very different set of parenting and a different heart to it. Like this is also a lot about acceptance, parenting. Sitaare Zameen Par, Sitaare Zameen Par talks about those things. Did you always want to have this? When did you guys decide? Was there a plan in place or did you know it from the beginning when you were dating that you were going to be parents like this?
No, I don't think anyone does. I think it's your journey, and it's. I think what most of us don't realize, that there are stages in your life that will never be what you were when you were 15, or will never be what you were when you were 20. You will outgrow those phases, and there will be a phase which is like motherhood and parenthood, where it is as much as a commitment as your film. So if you've been someone who's been disciplined enough in your work life, you will do the same in your parenthood. If you've not, and you've had cracks on the way, you will find that in your parenthood as well. So I think with Riteish and me, we've both been very, very dedicated. Like I always say that though we dated for 10 years, it was literally a long distance relation, because I was working so much in the South, and he was working all over, and then Bollywood films would be out every day. So we hardly met. but the intent was correct, so I think when your intent is right in whatever you want to do, and I don't think, and honestly, Nayan, I don't think there are any bad parents. I don't
Absolutely.
I think whatever every parent is doing, they're doing it to the best of their ability.
Absolutely.
It may not be your way of parenting, it may not be my way of
Absolutely.
parenting, but it is that parent's way of, and they're doing it 100%. So this whole idea of being a perfect parent, first we should just delete, because you are perfect to the best of your ability, with a large number of imperfection involved in it.
Absolutely.
As well.
Of course, everybody is imperfect, right?
Yeah.
And this movie celebrates imperfections. This movie has a very different connect with me, because I was talking to your director and I was saying this, I will say this again, that I've grown up where I have had a set of surrounding people, like whether it's my closest set of friends or my family, everybody in my family, who have accepted me the way I am.
Yes.
They never made me believe that maybe to others and societal terms, I don't behave normally.
Yes.
There are people, even till date, who will come and say that you don't talk properly, you don't walk properly, why are you saying this, why are you saying that? I love the idea of sabka apna apna normal hai,
absolutely.
right? Because the way you said that every parent has their own normalcy, right? Did this idea attract you, firstly? And secondly, when you are a parent yourself, making sure that your kids grow up in an environment where they're accepting, because this story speaks about acceptance, towards every individual, how is that important for both of you?
No, I think the whole line of the story, ki sabka apna apna normal hota hai, is something that should be in everyone's life.
Absolutely.
And that's why when I speak about parent, I said there's no bad parent, there's no bad mom. Stop putting yourself, you're going to be imperfect, you're going to be perfect in certain things, find your own normal, and through this film Sitaare Zameen Par, I think hats off to Aamir Khan Productions and Mr. Aamir Khan himself, who sits down and wants to make these films, because this is a film about fun, about people living life the way they should.
Unapologetic about who they are and how they are.
Why should I be considered normal and someone else not? You not. Why should you not be?
Absolutely.
Why have we made this box around our lives,
Growing up, were you ever told that certain things that you did or you said were not like a...
Of course. First of all, when I was growing up, in fact, actually very close to Jane Tu also, there are a couple of people who told me that, you're not the conventional pretty girl. I said, what does that mean? Like, when I was debuted, it was all about having only white skin, or, having those lighter eyes and having colored hair for some weird reason. Everyone was putting contact lenses and they would be like, this was me throughout, like my first ad with Mr. Bachchan also was, I went with my own clothes on, and Mansoor Khan had directed that ad.
Wow.
Yeah, it was so they never saw that as someone who could act. And back then also Mr. Aamir Khan saw, his Aditi in me. So I'm saying we don't see it, and we've been trained not to see that there are moments in life which are just beautiful without them having to be spelled out.
But did it affect you back then, because you were so young?
No, I did. See, I'm as a person, I am very particular about my dignity. Like, you cannot take that away from me, even if you're the topmost person in the world. I may not be in a position to say something back to you. There's very often when it's, a past struggle and you can't say something, but that doesn't mean I'll take what you say. I will quietly move
Walk out,
If I can, I will stand up and say, if I know it's going to make a difference. If it's not, I don't have a problem in, walking away and saying, you feel what you want about me, but I'm not going to feel what you want about myself. See, it's also a conscious decision, Nayan, to not let it affect me. Like, even today, there are things that really bother me at times. And I go to Riteish and I tell him that, it really bothers. But
what are the things that bother you?
So, I don't like someone being, very, like in children, and I'll tell you this because I have children, there are a lot of there's lots of competitiveness, amongst this mom doing this for this mom doing, to a point where we stop telling, we stop helping the mom community, we stop helping. Like if I've done something which is good for my child, I won't tell another mom. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand why you can't. If something's worked for your child, let me know. Maybe it'll work for mine. But we won't tell it. These kind of things affect me. Like I'm like, but why didn't they tell it? I'm open. I'm saying everything. Why? And Riteish tells me one thing. He's like, you have to understand to let go. Very often I don't. Like it bothers me. But I've come to a phase where I've realized that, okay, you deal with it for that one day, because I'm that personality. Like I can't sleep over it and wow, it's all gone. I'll deal with it for a day and then I'll just let go of it. But I think somewhere down the line, expectations, bother me. Like
Is there a mom guilt also sometimes that works?
Yeah, it's all, that I think works all the time. But I also am very clear that if I go to a job, my children need to know that I'm respecting my job.
Yes.
So they don't need to see me feeling, like being questionable about my job. They need to say that no, she has a duty to do and she needs to do it well.
Yeah.
I feel that.
There was this time when Rani Mukherjee was actually coming back with a film after having Adira. And she had done an interview with Anupama ma'am, and she had said something which became like that today actresses especially are not considered, married actresses are not considered dead commodities anymore.
Yeah.
There was a point of time, even when you debuted,
Yeah.
there was a point of time that actresses being in a relationship was almost like the last thing.
Yeah.
And then once they're married and if they have had kids, then it's like
It's
a
done.
death knell
Yeah.
on their career. Today, things have changed. Today,
Yes.
you're doing a film like this with Aamir sir. And
Yeah.
honestly, kudos to him also.
Yes,
because
absolutely. Only to him. Like someone told me, you're really lucky to be doing this. I said, no, I'm really lucky to have met someone like Aamir sir, who today feels that I fit the character. You're right. Like, I think I would understand it a little more than someone in their 20s.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying, and it takes guts. I mean, I keep telling people that you could have cast me in your films, right? Like if there's a mom's role, if there's someone, I know that emotion, I've lived it, right? Like I wouldn't have known it as Janet, I wouldn't have known it as Aditi, right? Like of course there's a part of acting which you can go into it and be in depth about it,
but the entire feeling,
but
the innate
I
feeling.
think you can also cast someone for what they should represent.
Absolutely.
And hats off to Aamir sir. I keep telling him that someone like you who has the guts to make films like you make is unbelievable, because it is also risky, right? It's not the trend very often. People say that, oh, you need to do this type, that type. But here's a man who says, I'll do what I believe in. And we are lucky to be part of his universe.
No, I just feel like a film like Sitaare Zameen Par,
Yes.
where your character in the beginning, from the trailer, what we see is like he's also not really accepting of what has been pushed on him, and you bring in that element of acceptance.
Yes.
Today, people should realize that love is all about acceptance,
Yes.
right? And your character brings in that element in his character as well, where there will be a change, hopefully, in his attitude and outlook.
Yes.
Do you, when you are having kids, how important does it become for you to make sure that they are accepting? Because today there is a huge divide. There can be divide of any kind. How do you manage to make them grow up in an atmosphere that is devoid of any divide?
Something I told my son, Nayan, was that, you may be the best football player, you may be the best, person in studies. But are you that child who sees a child who's sitting alone at lunch break and lets him be? Or are you that child who goes and says, hi, can we speak? Or I'm Riaan and is all good with you? Are you having a good day? Are you that child? And he said, I mean, if that person wants to be alone, they want to be at home. I said, sometimes they don't have a choice. Sometimes it's just, groups and one child is left out. And that for me is more important than everything else that he does. That he is sensitive to someone sitting alone, or he is sensitive to someone not having a good day, or he is sensitive to, okay, Ai's, tired today, I'll just let her rest. That for me is extreme, and that cannot be taught, I feel. It can be discussed. So we discuss this. Riteish and me sit around and we discuss these things. When we see a child alone, we're like, Riaan, did you go and speak to that? Or Rahyl, did you go and, speak to the child who's sitting alone. Nobody wants, their first reaction is nobody wants to sit alone. I was like, no, maybe not. Did you try it? And every time they have tried it, they've come back and said, I told me this and she told me that. So I just think in your whole parenting, do you remember the child, like I always say, do you remember that child who's sitting alone at your lunch break?
Yeah.
Like, is that even a thought for parents today? I just feel it's so important. You expect them to be considerate, sensitive, feel for you, but you're not doing the basics.
Yeah, that's true. But when you speak about this, that I have heard this, that the whole idea of you going vegan, both of you going vegan, stemmed from your kids.
Yes. Yeah, my son said that, you have a dog who you love, and
Flash.
then you're eating non-veg like left, right, and center. So it did stem from them. It did evolve from them. So I think, and I do think there's a lot to learn from them, and there's a lot that you can impart. Don't go out there to teach. Just be that person, play that role. So I feel that's important.
You both have had a time when you guys have had, like you guys were dating each other, right? Then you had kids.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you can take your ill health, you can take your things happening to you, but to your family, especially to your kids, I think moms get a little more paranoid. Like my mother would get, like she would not take her own medicines, but if kids are going through something, then they'll have their own like medicine, like they'll go full paranoid. Right now I'm having a fight with my mom. I'm unwell. So she's forcing me to take my medicine. So she's coughing and she's not taking. So yesterday I didn't take medicines because she didn't take hers. So that's what I'm going to. Are you the paranoid parent or have you?
No, I do think, I do think again in parenting, some days Riteish reacts more, some days I react more, when a child is a little unwell or when a child is fallen down or when he's not getting that particular thing the way it should be done. Some things affect him, some things affect me. But as a team, we figure it out.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I think as a generation we forgot is how to problem solve.
Yes.
We just make this problem a problem and it goes on to becoming a bigger problem and a bigger problem. We are not thinking about how to problem solve. So that's the first thing we tell the child. Okay, you don't have this which you needed today. Now problem solve. How would you problem? Which I feel as a generation in general, we've just forgotten to problem solve.
But that's why you're in the movie. I think this problem solving nature, I think, is also what your character is embodying, right? Throughout the... Lastly, my last question yoga. When I spoke to Riteish, today in the morning, I have woken up, RCB has won. And there's this amazing video of Anushka and Virat just coming and there's like how he has also gone to her first and I had to post it and I posted because I've grown up watching a love story at home which spans 46 years, my mom and dad. And I feel like today's generation lacks it. I was telling my mom, there are only two couples who can make me believe in the institution of love without having love in life. And that's Riteish, Genelia and Anushka and Virat. And I genuinely mean it.
Thank you.
You guys have been, you guys have become a prime examples in the world. Unfortunately, in our parents' generation, there were many such examples to give in houses. But even, forget celebrities, even in normal households, we don't have such examples anymore in the generation. And Riteish said this beautifully that, you know why? Because people kind of fall out of love. Genelia and I are falling in love every day with a different version of each other. We've changed over the last 10 years. We'll change over the next 25. And with every version, we are also changing and adapting and loving each other and falling in love. How do you manage to do that? Please tell us the secret.
No, like I said, Nayan, very often we get into a relationship. And when I talk about accommodating, adjusting, these terms don't exist anymore. Like it's always supposed to be either the girl having to do it, either the boy. It's not a conclusive, collaborative effort to take a step forward. It's not like Riteish and me don't have days where, I think he's being unreasonable or he thinks that I'm being unreasonable. It's not like that.
More about Riteish being unreasonable. Let's just put it back. You're going to kill me.
But it's just that at the end of the day, we figure it out. Okay, this is it and this is not it. So again, we problem solve in certain things. I think the want to have everything perfect is the biggest problem. You are not perfect. You're never going to be perfect. There's going to be a changing time. Grow with the changing time. Don't get bored of what you have because then you're only seeking. You're only searching. Enjoy, culminate that into something better, grow with that into something better is what I think a relationship is. With me and Riteish, we take that time out. Like there are days that I am like, for example, this whole year he has been busy with directing.
Absolutely, what a
prior
film.
to that was writing. Yeah, so it's been a lot of time that he doesn't realize sometimes that I'm the homemaker for so long, and then he'll just stop on his own and say, let's go out for coffee. And
How sweet.
yeah, and that makes all the difference to me, right? Because I've also not realized that I'm doing so much. It's just getting claustrophobic till he says, let's just go out for coffee, let's just go hang with friends. So it's very important to
Have a partner
I
like
think
that.
him, yeah, he's sensitive about me taking this whole load on. So he realizes that maybe just that one day makes the whole difference
Yeah.
in what she feels, and it does.
Yeah.
And I think as women also, we are trained and made out to be like these people who have to take on everything. There are times that you can say, I want to sleep late. I don't think anyone will not listen.
Absolutely.
I think we've just stopped saying it, and then we're
Thinking
feeling
that
it.
nobody will listen, yeah.
We're feeling that this is wrong, this is unjust, they're not doing anything. But maybe they don't know, they're not as aware. So maybe if you just have a discussion and say, I'm tired today, can you do the duties today? I at least, Riteish, I don't know, maybe I just got lucky, but
Both of you got lucky.
but I think communication, and I come from a generation of pyar dosti hai.
And that dosti, my God.
Yeah.
Listen, before I give you the gift,
Yeah.
he's also a very big prankster.
Yeah.
Ask me about it.
Yes.
Because, of course, he walks out of my interviews out in jest where my entire team is in shock, including Genelia. Genelia, I heard that he apparently played a prank on you and broke up with you.
Yeah, he did. 1st of April, he's called me and said, now this is done. And I've not realized it's April Fool's Day. I'm like bawling and crying, and I'm like, do it in a nicer way.
But then, now also he does these things.
Yeah, he finds a way. He and my kids, they have the boys also have a great sense of humor. So it's like I'm outnumbered.
No.
My dog is also male.
But this is a skincare hamper from Wildglow that I have
Thank
to give
you.
you. This is from Wildglow Korean Skincare. All the amazingly viral products that are there on Instagram today, overnight biocollagen face mask, ये रात को लगा के सोना पड़ेगा, and this is, you can use them to remove your makeup. This is for you, for being not just a wonderful actress, but an amazingly human being.
Oh, thank you.
And also being one of the best parents ever.
Oh, no,
to
thank
both you
you.
and Riteish, actually, because I feel like if I ever become, अभी love story नहीं वो अलग बात है, but if I adopt and become, है नहीं अभी हमारे जन्म में,
100% होगा.
मेरे लिए नहीं है ना, अभी जब मिलेगा कोई इनके जैसा कोई मिल जाए, अनुष्का विराट जैसा कोई मिल जाए तो चलेगा, नहीं तो I have said no. But if I ever adopt, and even if I don't adopt, with my niece, I hope that I am at least half as good as parents as you are.
Thank
you so much. This
Thank
is for
you.
you.
Thank you so much.
And to many more conversations. Please
Yes.
keep doing more films. We want to watch you more often. Everybody says that. And after the movie releases, we have to sit down and have a full breakdown of the film, because I really want to watch the movie and speak about all the societal norms that Aamir sir, Prasanna sir, you and the entire gang,
Yes.
the squad is challenging, because I love it.
No, I would love to. I would absolutely love to.
Thank you. Thank you for doing
Nayan.
this.
Thank you.
Wildglow Korean Skincare by Rohit Khemka is India's futuristic skincare brand. Wildglow aims at bridging the geographical distance between India and South Korea. Their viral products, whether it's the biocollagen overnight face mask or the kojic acid and turmeric cleansing pads, are to die for. I've been using them and you can see the glow on my face.